my organization, all of us for our operations team, everybody stood strong. None of them said we want to quit.
Oh, that's
Uh,
brave.
they all realized that we're doing something good and they continue to do so. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful to my operations team because one is in the original, at the start of the organization, start of the services, that they didn't back down because of all the issues that we faced. Even during COVID, they didn't back down. This company called Hasiru Dala Innovations that works with waste pickers, and we're trying to create a better livelihood for waste pickers.
Mm.
And in the bargain, we're helping the environment. So that's a win-win for all of us. I can see a lot of people who have uh, gained from working with us
Mm.
because the entire relationship with them is not on a employer-employee format. It's more on a partnership. And especially all the viewers who will view this podcast is, they don't work for us, we work for them. Focusing on circular economy is the only way forward.
Yeah.
And we as HDI have taken that step in showcasing the circularity of how you can manage waste. That's the not-for-profit. The not-for-profit is focused on social security, social justice.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Hasiru Dala Innovations, the company that I am a part of, focuses on the livelihood.
So Marwan, I have read so much about you. Like last few days, I have reading a lot about you. You are
Okay.
an social activist working for a better life of the garbage collectors, street animals, and you're using all your skills and expertise to create an awareness in households, which is bringing an applaudable change.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Great.
Primarily, my entire journey started working on a project with bringing in awareness on understanding street dogs back in 2008-9. And the major portion of my work was trying to engage with the municipalities and bring in a lot of awareness among school children, government schools, different private schools.
Yeah.
The idea was back in that time, 2008-9, there used to be a lot of dog bite cases in the city.
Right.
And one of the areas where the dog bites used to take place was around garbage. You see garbage on the streets.
Correct.
And you would see people walking by throwing garbage, and there'd be dogs feeding there, cows feeding, crows feeding there. So the conflict was around garbage. So there were waste pickers also picking waste, and they would get bitten. So
Yeah.
That actually kind of motivated me to try and resolve the issue of garbage, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah, but you have a love affair with trash, right? So, for the love affair of trash, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, I wouldn't call it a love affair, but more of a motivation to try and bring a good system, a good waste management system for Bangalore. So I run this company called Hasiru Dala Innovations that works with waste pickers, and we're trying to create a better livelihood for waste pickers. And in the bargain, we're helping the environment. So that's a win-win for all of us.
Yeah, but Hasiru Dala Innovations, as you said, your organization is committed itself to improving the lives of the most marginalized working communities in India, right? But first here, I would like to know, and I'm so curious to know, what is the meaning of the word Hasiru Dala? I've never heard it before.
I know it's a tongue twister and a brain teaser. It's Hasiru Dala is an actual word in Kannada, which is a local language spoken in Karnataka, and the meaning in English would mean green force.
Green force.
Green force, yeah. So this is a name chosen by the waste pickers. So we continued to use the same name.
Okay.
We originally started as a not-for-profit. And slowly we branched out a separate organization and stuck to the same name of Hasiru Dala and called ourselves Hasiru Dala Innovations.
Innovations, right? But you're
Yeah.
getting a chance to improve the living conditions of these garbage collectors, and you're helping them to live a respectable life, as you said. But what services does Hasiru Dala Innovations offer? I mean, how are they creating an impact in the lives of waste pickers? Is it vastly possible to improve their lives? Because this community is kind of huge, right?
It is, yeah. So, Hasiru Dala Innovations primarily is focused on creating innovative business models, that integrate waste pickers and focus on creating a circular economy. Now, our first primary service that we started was the total waste management service, which is basically collection of your municipal waste from your households from the bulk generator. So a bulk generator is defined as anybody who generates about 100 kgs of waste a day, or who is residing in a 5,000 square meter residence or commercial complex. So anybody who is like an apartment or a villa is somebody who will be called a bulk generator. So we are an essential service, and we offer daily collection of waste from them. In fact, during the pandemic, the entire 2 years when there was lockdown, we were the only organization that was offering services in Bangalore.
Really? Okay.
And apart from that, so we have waste pickers who go, who are integrated into this operations, and they offer the collection from household level and send it to the right destination. So all the waste that is collected goes into our own biogas facility, which is again converted into bio-CNG, bottled bio-CNG, and it's replacing LPGs in restaurants. So that's what we do, and all the recyclable waste goes to the recycling industry. So the value that comes out of the recyclable waste is directly shared with the waste pickers. So they have an added incentive. We are the only organization in the entire country doing so, where we don't take any revenue from the recyclable waste.
Okay, so you're giving directly to them. Whatever revenue is generated, the entire revenue is given to them, or some part?
No.
The organization.
So the service is a service. I mean, the service that we provide is user fee based. So a part of the user fee is shared with the waste picker entrepreneurs for running the operations, and which gives them a slightly more income. And at the same time, the value that comes out of the dry waste, which is your paper, plastic, metal, glass that gets generated at your household level, that's an added incentive where the full revenue of that dry waste goes to them.
Right.
So we do not take any revenue from that.
So this is how they are motivated also to segregate
work with
the
us,
waste at household level.
Segregate and work with us, yeah. So at the household level, it's a law here in Bangalore and Karnataka that you need to segregate waste. So our service premise is based on segregation. So we only collect segregated waste from the household level. And basically the idea of this service came about is to bring in better quality of life for waste pickers, bring in a little more dignity in labor, because even now, there are a lot of waste pickers who are going on the streets and collecting waste, but what we're trying to do is transfer as many as possible into a professional service. So here in our service, instead of going on the streets, they're coming to your household and collecting waste, so which is a huge shift from what they were doing to what they're doing now. So that's one of the things what we wanted to achieve, is try and see how we can professionalize their entire experience of working in waste. So that was one of the service I was talking about, the total waste management service. The second service is event waste management. So you and I and anybody else in the city or the country goes to multiple events, be it a wedding, a music festival, flea market, any kind of event. So we offer sustainable solutions to events. So events generate a lot of waste. You have thousands and thousands of people visiting weddings, and any kind of event if you think
Correct.
of, and
Correct.
there's a lot of waste that gets generated. So we deploy our waste pickers there, and ensure that waste is segregated on site, and we transport that to recycling destinations as well.
Okay.
So with the events, we are able to to achieve zero waste to landfills. That means no waste goes to the landfill.
Goes to the
So it
land.
could be 100% recycled at
That's an
events, which
achievement.
is a huge achievement.
Yeah.
So
So with your
yeah,
efforts, I must say here the garbage pickers started gaining and living a respectable life, and even
yeah, they are
the
definitely.
incentives and earnings has increased. So does this
Yes, yes,
motivate you in
definitely.
any way?
Of course it does. Let's just call them waste pickers, because garbage collectors are people
Hmm.
also who are not waste pickers.
Swachhata
So
Mitra.
yeah, Swachhata Mitra is a new term that has come up, but
Yeah.
waste picker is somebody who we clearly are aware of who they are.
Right.
So making a difference in people's lives. I can see a lot of people who have uh, gained from working with us,
Hmm.
because the entire relationship with them is not on a employer-employee format. It's more on a partnership
Okay.
format.
Okay.
So we treat each other as partners.
Hmm.
And there's a saying that we have in the organization that to anybody who we speak with, and especially all the viewers who will view this podcast, is they don't work for us, we work for them.
Right.
So it's the other way around, that we have a saying in our organization, that it's because of the waste pickers that we have a job today.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. And you are here, bringing a change in people's life, making a difference. But when you started HDI, Hasiru Dala Innovations, there was no such ecosystem to support you in any kind, in this sector. So there must be many a times you were discouraged or demotivated. But what is that keeps you going ahead? Because when you're working for a social cause, or when you are working in this industry, how do you know you are on a right way or a correct path?
Um, bef- so before HDI started, we were a not-for-profit organization, and
Yeah.
when the not-for-profit started, the sole objective was to bring in recognition for waste pickers for their contribution in
Mm.
Bangalore.
Mm.
And one of the ways we did that is we did a study of about 15,000 waste pickers. We estimate more than 35,000 waste pickers in Bangalore. Um, we did a study of about 15,000 waste pickers,
Mm.
which translated to these 15,000 waste pickers diverting about 1,050 tons of waste per day away from the landfill. That
Okay.
means the municipality has no idea that these 1,050 tons of waste is being collected by the waste picker community.
Yeah.
And this in turn is saving them 84 crores annually. So the municipality has no clue about this. And we presented this to them, and that's what kind of set a precedent for the entire country to integrate waste pickers into the waste management system. So from then on, with the efforts of Hasiru Dala, the not-for-profit, all the laws speak about waste picker integration. The plastic waste management rules, the solid waste management rules, they all speak about waste pickers being integrated into the systems, because they are an existing community, and it's best to take benefit and integrate them into creating a better system.
Correct.
So
Correct.
as that started, then over a period of time, in 2015, we started Hasiru Dala Innovations, and a lot of our efforts were primarily experimented in the not-for-profit. And then that was a time when there were a lot of challenges, where converting a sector, an unorganized sector, into being professional service providers took some amount of training. At the same time, there was already an existing system in Bangalore that was running, which you could say is not the best of systems. So when we started our services, it was threatening them. So there was a lot of threats that was floating around. A lot of people, a lot of our community waste pickers
Were
were,
you getting threats at that time?
yeah, we are getting there.
What
So
kind
we
of?
had a lot of verbal threats, physical threats. Our vehicles were hijacked. Our workers were, caught and
Mhm.
beaten.
Oh my
So there
God.
were a lot of issues that we and the community had faced
Hmm.
heavily.
Hmm.
So what the uh, what the city realized is that we are not going to back down. We are going to ensure that we stand our ground and ensure that we give professional services because like I said, the primary focus was we were creating a livelihood opportunity for waste pickers, but at
Correct.
the same time, the city of Bangalore needed a professional service.
Hmm.
So the community was with us, the waste picker community, and the citizens of Bangalore also were supporting us.
But,
So there was
but
no,
wasn't it difficult for you at that time? I mean,
it was very difficult. It was very stressful.
to
It
because
was
there
very
must
stressful. So
these
half
waste
my
pickers
time
also
was
have a
running.
community.
Yeah, yeah. So half my time was running in the police station because
Ah,
there were some cases where the contractors would harass our waste pickers. Like I said, no, the whole harassment and the
correct,
vehicle
correct.
hijacking.
Yeah.
So the only way we could get a resolution out of that was to involve the police.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of support from the police that helped us during that initial time. And of course, the elected representatives also were very supportive. The VVMP also, to some extent, were very supportive.
Hmm.
So, facing all those challenges, we still ensured that uh, we continue our services. And in all our hearts, we knew that we were doing something good for
Right.
for the community and for the city in general. So, I think the universe supported us, and
Yeah.
we continue to stand today.
Yeah, but I don't understand this. You are working for a social cause. I mean, you're working for the betterment of the society. There should be no objection for this.
There is no objection from a citizen's perspective or from the municipality perspective, but what are what
Do you want
people
to
don't
share
see
one
is,
example? Do you want to share any example or any incident that this happened with you?
yeah. So what we fail to realize is behind every um, uh, large economy, like for example, the waste management sector is a very big sector in the city and in the country. And before any professional services came into existence, the entire waste management sector was ruled by the uh, garbage mafia, so to say.
Yeah,
So there was a
Dala
group. There
system.
are a Yeah. So there are a group of contractors who run the entire city's waste management. Now these guys were threatened when new players came into the market,
Correct.
and anytime we would service a certain area or a certain apartment, they would come with 10, 20 people. They would take our vehicles,
Hmm.
break our glasses of the vehicle, and
Uh-huh.
then beat our workers up. And then we would have to intervene, go to the police station, and then resolve it that way. Because if we didn't use the police, then it would be a very physical encounter and would, lead to no end. It would keep continuing. So that's why we took the support of the police to make
Hmm.
sure that things do not get more aggravated, and at the same time, people back off.
Yeah. You never
Yeah.
backed off, is it because, when you're in this sector, as you said, you were threatened so many times. There were like
Yeah.
these 10, 20 people coming up and bashing
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
car or, the bikes. So you could have easily backed off.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people who came into the sector when we did, and they all backed off because of these threats.
Yeah.
But my organization, all of us for our operations team, everybody stood strong. None of them said we want to quit.
Oh, that's brave.
They all realized that we're doing something good, and they continue to do so. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful to my operations team because one is in the original, at the start of the organization, start of the services, that they didn't back down because of all the issues that we faced. Even during COVID, they didn't back down. all the operations team, they
Major.
said they will continue services, and they didn't say we're scared of COVID and we will not come to work. Everybody came to work.
Wonderful, yeah. And bow
Yeah.
down to them,
So,
actually. Yeah, but you are trying to pin down a real problem here. So you started
yeah.
with HDI as a purpose-driven company, and now the organization is also focused on social justice for waste pickers.
That's the not-for-profit. The not-for-profit is focused on social security, social justice.
Okay,
And
okay.
Hasiru Dala Innovations, the company that I am a part of,
Hmm.
focuses on the livelihood. So
Okay.
all service-related engagements are done through the company.
Okay, okay. So recently, as you know, Marwan, there was a G20 summit in India, and
Yeah.
India and Japan addressed the climate change issues and environmental issues. The union
Yeah.
minister stressed that India and Japan would explore strengthening bilateral cooperation, especially on circular economy, resource
Yeah.
efficiency, low carbon technology, and green hydrogen are among them. So, do you see some good things happening in future?
I'm hoping for some good things to happen because right now, for people who are not aware, climate change is real. We are facing that as we speak, this
Yeah.
conversation. We've never had cold nights in January. This is the end of January. We're having cold nights here in Bangalore. Usually it starts getting warmer, but times are changing. There are floods happening across the world in places where there was never water seen.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of greenhouse gas emissions that are and that is creating a lot of trouble in the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Now, uh, focusing on the climate, focusing on circular economy is the only way forward.
Yeah.
And we as HDI have taken that step
Yep.
in showcasing the circularity of how you can manage waste
Hmm.
through our biogas facility. So
Okay.
we collect all the organic waste from the bulk generators, as I mentioned earlier, and
Okay.
it's fed into our biogas plant and is converted back into bio CNG and then sent back to the restaurants to use as a replacement for LPG. So if you think about it, it's the waste that is generated by the people. It is converted back into gas and sent back to the people.
Okay, if I may cut you here, before
Yeah.
we start, can I ask you, like, for our audience, like, or the clarity, what is circular economy when we talk about circular economy? I know, Hasiru Dala is promoting circular economy, but what is circular economy and how do you achieve this? What are the best examples you can, bring it on?
So any kind of uh, non-natural resource that is consumed and used as a new product or a new resource
Hmm.
and sent back into the economy is a general sense of what a circular economy is. To
Okay.
give you an example, as I was saying earlier, the organic waste or the food waste that is generated in our households, every day we generate
The wet
leftover
waste.
food, the wet waste, the vegetables, fruits,
Right.
is collected by our waste picker entrepreneurs. It is sent to our biogas facility, and
Okay.
the food waste, the wet waste, is converted into bio CNG, and that is sent back to restaurants as a replacement to LPG. So LPG is made from petroleum, which is a natural resource. Now we've converted wet waste into a replacement for natural resource, which is like creating a circular transformation. Waste to conversion to a resource again. So as you can see, it's forming a circle if you look at it.
Correct.
So that's a clear example of circular economy.
Okay.
And we are the only ones in Bangalore that's running a 30-ton biogas plant. So anybody in Bangalore who is out here is more than happy. I'll be more than happy to show them around.
Really? Okay, so we have to see when we are in Bangalore, and we would be more than happy to, see it. But when we are talking about circular economy, there is also this the largest furniture retailer brand, IKEA. right? So IKEA is embracing circular designing. I have read it many times, but how is this possible that the world's largest furniture retailer embracing circular economy principle? How are they doing it?
I think, again, IKEA being a company that's focusing largely on furniture, all their furniture is based out of wood,
Hmm.
and as we know, wood is a is a is a basic component of that comes from trees,
Right.
and if they're moving towards a circular economy centric principles, which is very good for them because I think what they're trying to do is create the waste that comes out of any of their furniture making goes back into usable products in their furniture, which is basically putting less pressure on the natural resource and cutting down trees
Hmm.
and stuff. So I think that's a very smart and a good move for them to
Yeah.
go forward with.
So that means they are taking into account all relevant aspects like climate footprint, water, the trees,
Yeah. So
land use.
anytime you convert a waste product into a resource again,
Hmm.
it is encouraging the circular economy.
Hmm.
So you're not dependent on natural resources.
Right.
So that is a very good step to for
Hmm.
IKEA.
Okay, and this is how circular economy is increasingly
Yeah,
adopted as a
yeah,
powerful framework to address the
yeah,
world's most pressing challenges. But
yeah.
why do you think now, or do you think is this the right time to invest in circular economy?
Yes, this is the right time because I see a lot of people in the waste sector who are
Mhm.
trying to bring in a lot of change in this sector, and there are a lot of brands who understand that they need to look at alternative sources rather than natural sources. So, for
Hmm.
example, we work with H&M, which is an apparel brand,
Right.
and 30% of the plastic that we collect in our collection system goes to them, and they make buttons out of
Out of the
the plastic, out of the waste plastic. So this is a huge step a brand like H&M has taken up to convert all of their buttons into recycled plastic,
right.
made from recycled plastic, and 30% of that is directly purchased
Mhm.
from us. So which is a huge step for a brand like H&M. And similarly, we're trying to see how other brands will follow suit and try and introduce more of recycled plastic.
I never knew like the
In their
buttons can be made from plastic. So the
Yeah, buttons are made of plastic.
yes,
So
but I never knew. H&M is into this, and
yeah, that's a very. It started about a year ago,
yeah.
and
All I knew
now
was that
they.
H&M is, they are, there was this initiative and there is this initiative where you bring this reused H&M clothes to them and they give you some 15% discount on the new clothes, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a different initiative.
Yeah.
But this is something. I mean, they're also looking at moving into other areas in the apparel system where they're looking at making hangers out of recycled plastic. So there are a lot of
Sorry,
things
what?
that hangers.
Hangers. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So there are a lot of things being experimented on.
Uh-huh. And this is
Yeah.
working fine. I mean,
I mean, it's a step in the positive direction. So it's definitely something that we welcome, and we want other brands also to follow this system.
mm-hmm. So, Marwan, tell me one thing that all of us know that India is a land of farmers. It's agricultural land, but the way our food is produced and designed is one of the largest contributors to climate change. What if our food could tackle the climate change and build biodiversity? Is that even possible? Because one way I can see is if I eat plant-based food or plant-based meat, that would help the climate change.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is the meat industry is one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions. I think it's the second or the third
Yeah.
third largest industry. The meat industry is the third largest industry to second or third to carbon
It's second.
emissions. Second, okay. Carbon emissions. So, I mean, it all comes down to choices. You know,
Hmm.
there's a lot of argument around what are the choices an individual can make to contribute to a better environment,
Hmm.
but it's not going to work in small steps. It's going to be big steps that everybody has to take.
Yeah.
If people choose to eat meat, you can't stop them from choosing to eat meat. If people want to voluntarily move from meat eating to plant-based food, that's a good choice for some people.
Yeah.
So, all in all, not trying to focus on the kind of diet and the kind of cuisine that you like, or what kind of whether you're a vegetarian or non-vegetarian. But the idea is there has to be sustainable practices in any field, in any aspect of one's life, whether personal or professional. You need to make sure that anything that you do as an individual from a household level, or as somebody working in the corporate sector, or somebody who's running a business,
Hmm.
making sure any waste that you generate reaches the right destination so that you're reducing emissions as far as possible.
Okay. So,
Reducing, contributing to waste.
hmm. This works.
Yeah,
Yeah. Marwan, you are
yeah,
from Bangalore. The
yeah.
company, your organization is in Bangalore. What is that one behavior of Bangaloreans you'd like to reverse or change? Something that would help the waste management industry and the life of waste collectors as a whole.
I think the citizens of Bangalore are the most sensitive when it comes to waste management,
Hmm.
and I would say that the most aware in terms of waste and the harmful effects of
I agree.
mismanagement of waste. So, in terms of awareness, I don't think there's a problem with the people. I think the people and the municipality, we all have to work together, because you can't work on a blame game model. The
Hmm.
municipality can't say the citizens are not segregating waste. The citizens cannot say that my waste is not being collected.
Right.
So we gotta hold each other accountable. So I would look at a future where citizens participate more with their local municipality within their areas,
Hmm.
engage with the municipality, try and bring in strict compliances when it comes to waste collection, strict compliances when it comes to monitoring segregation, and ensuring that the segregated waste reaches the right destination. Because I think as a city, we have the capacity to do so if only we all work together.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
that's
a failed
important.
effort and we're just going to drown in garbage.
Absolutely. And here, when we say about Hasiru Dala Innovation, it has collaborated with a large number of brands or startups, as you said, like H&M,
Yeah,
to solve the waste crisis. What
yeah.
perspective do you have on collaboration or solving the problem together? Would you want to invite like more startups through our platform?
Yes, actually, I think one of your earlier interviewees, Lokesh from Refillable.
Location money. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So, Lokesh, I mean, we've partnered with Refillable and we are offering that service here in Bangalore.
Hmm.
We are offering the refillable services here in Bangalore. And similarly, like Lokesh and his team, we have another organization called Pad Care.
Hmm.
So they recycle used sanitary pads.
Hmm.
So we, as an organization, believe that collaboration is the only way we can solve this problem of waste that we have in this country.
Hmm.
Because not one organization or an individual can solve this problem on their own. You need to collaborate, and I think collaboration is the way forward for us. And like organizations like HDI, Refillable, Pad Care, I think you should encourage more and more people who are working in the sustainability space to come on your platform and share their experiences, because I think a lot more people need to know what's going on in the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
Marwan here on our show says that he's working for waste pickers and providing them a better life, and also decreasing the impact of waste mismanagement on the environment. Marwan, thank you so much for joining us today and talking about HDI and circular economy. Although India always had this culture of reuse and recycle, the adoption of circular economy is more imperative now, I think. And I hope
Yeah.
more and more people watch our conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm also hoping that a lot of people watch all your podcast, all the videos that are part of the podcast, and bring a greater impact.
Thank you so much, Marwan. Thank you again
Thank you so
for your
much.
time.
Take
Thank you.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.